that was their focus. When people can no longer afford 3 square meals, many young men in Ghana today are playing formation, better formation than Otoado, and you are the GFA. They are playing 0-1-0.
What was that?
Breakfast 0, afternoon you eat 1, and that one, you know what they are eating? They're no longer eating komi, because the komi right now, the ball of kenke is now, my fist is bigger than a ball of 3 cedi kenke. So now they're eating gobe.
Again, for my non-African listeners, my American viewers, this guy right here is breaking down the situation in Ghana, where he's saying that people are, especially the youth, young people are starving because the costs of goods have risen, and it cuts across the board, more so when it comes to food. So, little delicacies that, the average Ghanaian or, someone who wasn't making a lot of money, who wasn't making much, could at least afford. Now, that person can't afford that. So that's what he's saying. He's elaborating on that. Let's see.
They eat gobe in the afternoon around between 12:30 and 1:30. So you hold your stomach till 12:30, 1:30. You go and eat gobe. When you go, you tell the madam, the beans not plenty, the garri plenty. And then they don't even buy cocoa. And then they eat that as foundation. And then they buy pure water. The pure water they used to buy for 5 pesos. Now it's 30 pesos. So that is the life. And you go to bed.
Now you guys cut that, right? So the bottle of water that, well, I don't know if it's a bottle of water, but just think of it as a unit of water, drinking water, that the average Ghanaian used to buy for 5 Ghana cedis. Or did he say pesos? I can't remember. Either way, whatever unit it was in is now at 30. It used to be 5, now it's at 30. And this is all within the space of 1 year, 2 years. A 600% increase. A 600% increase. Now you think about that. Think about that. If you lived in America, you let's say you go to your local grocery store, Acme, ShopRite. You buy a gallon of Lactaid. It costs you $5 in January. And come December, you go and the same bottle of the same gallon of Lactaid costs you $30. You might end up shooting somebody. You might end up shooting somebody. A 600% increase in prices. Anyway, let's continue.
Till the next morning.
So that's the 0-1-0.
0-1-0.
Okay.
If you use guard and play 0-1-1, the next day you go 0-0-0. You need to know how to play the tactic, and you need to be careful not to get an ulcer, because if you get ulcer, you can't even afford the omeprazole in the family. So you need to know how to play it such that you don't. So sometimes you play 0-1-0, sometimes you do 0-0-1, sometimes 1-0-0, and now you.
Okay, now I know some of you are like, what is he talking about? 0-1-0, 1-0-0, and all that stuff. So he's saying, if you consider the fact that the average human being eats 3 square meals a day, okay? So that, in an ideal situation, the average person would eat 1 meal for breakfast, 1 meal for lunch, and 1 meal for dinner. But things have gotten so bad to the point where they can only eat 1 meal a day. And so what they're doing is they're skipping breakfast, so that's a 0. They're eating lunch, that's the 1, and they're skipping dinner. That's another 0. So he's saying you have to adhere to this formula, because if you don't adhere to the formula and for some reason on a particular day you get carried away and you decide to eat 2 square meals in a day, let's say you eat 1 in the morning, 1 for lunch, and you go 0 at dinner, well, guess what? the law of averages. You're going to go for 0, 0, 0 the following day, meaning you're not going to eat the following day. Now, I know this is hyperbole, okay? He's exaggerating a little bit, but the point he's trying to make is things are hard. Things are getting harder and harder by the minute, where people can't afford even food. And that is a sad, sad situation. That is a sad reality to find yourself in. Okay? When it gets to the point where the populace can eat well, when it gets to the point where people are hungry, you have a crisis on your hand. You have a crisis on your hand. Let's continue.
You make a mistake and say you are doing an outdooring or doing a party, you see the number of people who come and grade crash your things. Boys are walking around this town and looking for people's parties just to go there and get free meals. That is how desperate the young people of this country have become.
George.
And that was the last point he made, which was because people can get food to eat, because people are having a hard time making ends meet and to feed themselves, what they're doing is they're crashing parties. Okay, they're crashing events where they know there's going to be food. They're driving around town or walking around town, and if they hear that someone is throwing a party, or if they happen to be walking past a residence and they see, hey, there's a party going on in there, and they know there's going to be food and drinks there, even though they're not invited guests, they're gonna go up in there because they're desperate. And this phenomenon just started in Ghana. My wife was telling me about it because she's from Nigeria, and in Nigeria this has been they've been doing this for a couple years now. Ghana is now finally getting there. Ghana is now getting to that point. The point where you got to wake up. You're a young, unemployed man or woman between the ages of 21 and 29 or 30. You don't know where your next meal is coming from. So when you decide to eat, you either got to eat once a day, or you have to go around looking for events where there might be some food, so that you can go in there, you can crash the event, go in there, and hopefully get some food to eat. That is a sad existence, my people. And something needs to be done, because this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable.